and this is a podcast dedicated to all things My Chemical Romance. Today we're talking about the last third of Bullets, because we split it into thirds, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Except we're doing 4 songs today, so it's going to be like a mega episode. But
That's
it's not
right.
it's not going to be any longer.
That's exactly right. It is not. We are going to keep our conversation succinct and to the point.
Really going to try.
No, we are going to.
Okay.
There is no try.
If you say so.
There is only do. Is that the actual quote? I don't know. I'm doing my best.
Yeah. It is.
Good.
Yeah. Do or do not. There is no try.
There we go. You got it. There's a part in the, to circle this back, there's a part in the Nana Studios recording videos, because it was recorded in like 2002, where Gerard is like talking about he's going to get like a Count Dooku lightsaber.
Yeah.
And they're going to have fights in the yard.
Yep. They're nerds, and they've always been nerds.
They are nerds. So anyway, today we're talking about Early Sunsets Over Monroeville, The Best Day Ever, Cubicles, no, this is The Best Day Ever, sorry, Cubicles, and Demolition Lovers. Mm-hmm. Shall we start?
Yeah, let's do this.
Cool. So, Early Sunsets Over Monroeville.
I just really love this song.
I have a lot of feelings about the song.
Yeah. All right. So starting off, it's based off of Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
And the tagline for Dawn of the Dead is, "When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth."
Mm-hmm.
And they pull real heavily on that for the lyrics.
Yeah, for the last part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is based on Dawn of the Dead, which is a zombie movie by George Romero, which came out in 1978. And can I skim the plot? I'll skim the plot a little bit. So, as in any zombie movie, an outbreak happens, people get bitten, there are hordes, and this small group hides in this mall in Monroeville. It's the Monroeville Mall. And they hide out and do pretty well for a while until, of course, the zombies overcome their barricades, because I think some looters get through the barricades and let the zombies in. Mm-hmm. And then a couple manages to escape via a helicopter on the roof. So that's, like, in summary, the movie. It's called Early Sunsets Over Monroeville because the movie is set in Monroeville. And you can hear, I mean, in the lyrics that it's talking about a mall, there's fountains, escalators, etc. So
yeah. Sets the scene pretty clearly for you.
Yeah. It's a pretty straight interpretation of, like, based on this movie.
I think it's probably it's the most story-based song on the album. I don't think it's related, obviously, to the actual concept of the album, but it's the most story-driven. Does that make sense? It's
it contains a story.
Yeah, it's like a mini-story within the album.
Yes. That
is put in there. And I think in that way, it's the least personal song on the album.
It's it's the least personal as far as, like, literally personal.
Yeah.
But it is, I would say, like, the most emotional song on the album.
Yeah, well, so, and they even said, like, Jeff Rickley and all of them said that afterwards everybody just, like, after Gerard did the vocals, he laid down the vocals and everybody just had to leave because they were so uncomfortable. And they couldn't look Gerard in the eye because they were like, that was a lot that we just saw of you. And they had to leave and go smoke a cigarette.
That does kind of make sense. You don't see that song being tracked in the studio videos.
I wish we had, though.
But, well, you see him tracking some other songs where, like, Demolition Lovers and probably Best Day Ever.
Yeah, it's Best Day Ever.
Where he gets, like, really emotional, like, hyped up and, like, screaming. And then, like, you know, the music cuts because the track is done. And it's like, oh.
He's, like, jarred out of it. He's like, oh, hey.
Well, he's fine. He's like normal and, like, small and bouncy.
He's
but
so
like
cute.
But, like, what do you do after someone's just screamed their guts out in a booth and, like, the music cuts and you're like,
cool,
gotta go on with their lives. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. And we're just gonna go over here.
Gonna move on.
Get some pizza, I guess.
Yeah. Jeff's quote about it was, he had ripped himself open in front of everybody. He'd taken it so far that it was uncomfortable for anyone who was friends with him. They hadn't seen him as Gerard the singer. They still saw him as their buddy Gerard. It's a little scary to see someone do what he did.
Valid.
So
I want to mention this because I just am so impatient.
Yes.
I just need to talk about it now.
Okay.
It's very important, which is that this is like Frank played guitar on 2 tracks of the album, and this is one of the tracks, and I have so many feelings about it because he plays the really like clean guitar line on top of the plinky guitars. Melody. Yeah, and it sounds so pretty. And he did it by being in the studio with them. Ray would play a part. He would record that part, I assume on a cassette or something, run out to a van outside in the winter with no heat, and write his little part to go with it, and they would just go back and forth until it was done. So many feelings. That is so precious.
Yeah.
And it sounds so beautiful. It's such a beautiful guitar line. And it makes the song.
Yeah, it really does. You can't hear the song without doing... You just, like, without hearing the melody in your head.
Yeah, like it makes it beautiful, and it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's really simple and clean and soft
and like Frank, with this song alone, earns his place in the band.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like one of my favorite things he's ever done in his entire life. He's 36, going on 37, and this is one of my favorite things.
The boy peaked early.
Like top 5. Top 5. He peaked at what, 20, 21? Yeah. That's not fair.
And the song kind of feels like, even just listening to it, the way it's produced sounds like you just walked in on Gerard in a room singing about this, and you're like, oh, what's up? Like, we just, you know, especially the last few lines where they take out the music.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no room in this hell, there's no room in the next, but does anyone notice there's a corpse in this bed?
That part really feels kind of like you're not supposed to be listening.
Yeah, I like that part where the music cuts and it's just like the echoey vocals.
Yeah, because he's really like, he's talking about, you know, having to kill his lover.
Yeah.
Who's turning into a zombie.
Yeah, it sucks.
In front of his eyes.
And even though this song isn't, you know, doesn't have to do with the concept of the album, and it is based on like something very specific, I do think it has a lot, it relates a lot to the themes of the album, because like, again, we're getting violent love, where you have to kill your lover, which is very in keeping with other parts of the album, where like the Bonnie and Clyde pair put each other in danger and have a very bad relationship. And this is like, it's a big, heavy emotional, I think this is like a song where like zombie apocalypse media is very popular, and so we see it a lot in like video games and movies and whatnot. But I think like this song is like one of the things in that genre that conveys how emotionally draining it would be to actually be in that situation.
Right.
Where if you had to shoot someone who's turning into a zombie, because like you have to deal with the threat of the zombie, but then once you shoot them, they're just like the person that you knew again, and they're dead, and they're not a zombie because they're just dead now.
Right.
And so it's just the corpse of your lover that you had to shoot, and that sucks. It's very unique suckage.
Unique suckage.
Yes.
Yes.
Just, we've seen a lot of that. I mean, I don't think zombies were that popular when the song was recorded, but in the decade following became insanely popular. Yeah. There's also a thing about, like, depending on what political party is in power, whether vampires or zombies are popular, but...
Really?
I don't remember the rule for that, but it's a thing. There's, like, documentation about it.
That's amazing.
I know!
Are vampires on the rise again, then?
I don't remember which is which. I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
But yeah, so we kind of became, like, really inundated with that in the 2000s, and I think this is one of the few things that stands out as, like, good zombie media.
Mm-hmm.
That really gets across the point of zombie apocalypses in the first place.
Yeah.
They also didn't play this one a lot live, which is a huge bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Like, I get it, because it's, like, really different from the rest of this album, and also, like, the rest of a lot of their discography, so I get not playing it live. There's, like, one recording of it live, and, like, it doesn't sound, like, that great, because you really need to, like, you know, Gerard moves around a lot on stage, especially on, like, Bullet's days. He's very much in the audience's faces, and so it's a weird time for him to, like, have a song where he has to calm down, but you really have to calm down to, like, play the song well. But I wish we had more live recordings of it.
Yeah. And when Gerard tweeted about it, he was like, "Oh, this is the song where I had to record with like half a face."
Yeah, I think this is the song where he's the most in pain.
Yeah.
Which helps the song.
I mean, it does.
It sounds great.
The vocals are broken and it's legit.
The cost was high, but I think it was worth it.
It totally was.
Sorry, Gerard. We think your pain was worth it.
100%. I'm not sorry about it.
Also, okay, so also in the live recording, he listened to it, and he fucks up the lyrics at the end, the long repeating section.
Mm.
And I think maybe that's also a practical reason not to play it live, because it's really easy to fuck that part up. Because when we saw the MCR cover show, someone else also fucked that up, even though it was a great show. But, like, he repeated a set of, like, 3 lines at least 6 times more than he should have.
Yeah.
It was so long.
And the pianist in the back was like, all right, here we go again. And it's easy to fuck up, though.
Yeah, it really is. Like, you really have to keep track.
It's repetitive towards the end, and you have to really be on your game.
Yeah. We're just like, when is he going to go to the next part? When is he going to go to the next part?
Oh, we're doing this part again. Okay,
I'm here. We were all here for it, but wow, that was funny.
I wanted to support him in his endeavors, and he did well.
God bless that pianist.
Yeah.
I also think this is a lot of people's favorite My Chemical Romance song, like, period, out of their whole discography, which is very valid. It's definitely one of my top 3 favorite songs.
Yeah.
I think when I did the bracket, it was very high in the bracket.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the guitars are so beautiful, and it's like that good MCR build-up that they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good at that. And his vocals are so good, and the ending is so good, and I'm just here for all of it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings.
I just have a lot of feelings.
I also, in my mind, kind of pair this song with Desert Song, because they're sort of similar vibes.
Yeah, similar vibes.
Do you have anything else to say about this song?
I think that's all I've got.
Cool. We're moving right along. 4 songs, covering 4 songs, 1 episode.
Yeah, we can do this.
Well. The next song is This Is the Best Day Ever.
Right off the bat, I love this song. Just gonna put it out there. I know a lot of people don't like it.
I'm one of the people.
I know. This is why this episode is going to be so interesting, because we vary differently on 2 songs in this episode. I love this song.
I don't hate this song. It's just not one of my favorites.
Right. I mean, I don't hate any of the songs on the album. It's just that, some of them rank lower than others.
Yeah.
But I love this song. He wrote it about his hospital trips. Mm-hmm. Because of his tooth abscess duress.
I've heard that, but I've never seen it written down somewhere.
I'm pretty sure it was written in It's Not the Life It Seems, which, if you don't know what that is, it's their
Bible.
It's their unofficial biography, and it has a lot of interviews in it, and you should buy it because it's by Tom Bryant, and he's an interviewer that is amazing and has worked with MCR pretty closely throughout the years. Anyway, yeah, that's what he wrote it about. And who the fuck writes this bop about being in a hospital because of his abscessed tooth? What the fuck?
One man.
This is why I love him.
1 man, 3 names. Gerard Arthurway. I feel... So here's why this is my favorite song. Let me scroll down to the notes.
Why this isn't your favorite song?
Isn't one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's one of the more conventional songs. Also, we've talked about hooks before with Bullets and their lack of hooks. This is a song that has no hooks.
I know.
It's got nothing. There's no chorus. There's no hook. There's nothing that repeats a full time through. What the fuck? This song is kind of a mess.
I didn't say it was well written. I just said that I like it.
But the part that does get me going is where it starts chugging and where Jeff's backup vocals come in,
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm on board for this song. I'm here for the ride.
Well, I felt I couldn't take another day inside this place. Silent dreams we never went, and in this promise
I think this was an important exploration song for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeff on backing vocals is fantastic. I think it's just fucking great.
I did write in my notes, Jeff's backup vox slaps.
He slaps. Yes, my dude. Yes. And it, I think, has some of the most overlooked lyrics. Like, Starless Eyes, for heaven's sake. what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what it means, but I love it.
It means that your eyes are pretty dead.
Yes.
There's no life in
I love it.
They also use Starless Eyes later in Revenge.
Yes.
He keeps that phrase again. For fashion statement.
Yeah, and this is definitely a story-driven song. This is the Demolition Lovers storyline.
Yeah, I wrote Demolition Lovers song ?
I think so. I think it might be their backstory about, like, running away together.
The confusing part for me about if it is or isn't part of the concept is the hospital part. Mm-hmm. Like, there's, like, two parts of it. Like, one part, like, he's heartbroken and has the line, "You left my heart an open wound." Yeah. But at the beginning, there's, like, these hospitals. What's going on?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Another exploration part that I think they took part in was harmonies in this song. Gerard is great at harmonies, and he doesn't just maintain, the standard, oh, I'm going to sing in thirds and it sounds pretty, so I'm just going to end it at that. He explores dissonant harmonies that kind of loop, across each other and, might sound jarring when heard alone, but in the melodic line, when they work together, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah. There's like a dissonance, like where Jeff comes in,
and on the when I. They kind of interweave between each other, and I really like the harmonies in the song.
I do like the part in the Nana Studios videos where they gather all their friends in the room to record This Day.
Yeah.
They all shout "This Day."
They're so stoked about it. They're like, let's do this again.
Let's triple track this shit.
And
it's very touching.
Yeah, and the Ferris wheel ablaze part, I think, is probably the only reason that there's a Ferris wheel on the cover.
Why is there a hospital, a Ferris wheel, and like a heartbreak? What's happening?
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't say this song is well written.
Maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe they had a crazy day, and that's why this is the best day ever.
Maybe
they escaped from this hospital where people were like evil nurses and some shit.
Yes.
They went to this ghost abandoned fairground.
Set shit on fire.
Yeah, set shit on fire. They're like, you know what? We're gonna go out and do an amazing crime with a lot of guns. It's gonna go fine. Nothing's gonna go wrong, and that's where the song ends. But also, there's a heartbreak somewhere. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening in the song.
I don't know.
It's very confusing to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know what's going on. You just accept it, and you just...
But it is, like, a really upbeat song with, like, probably, like, some of the darkest lyrics or, like, some of the most downer lyrics in the album. Because, like, nothing goes well in the song.
No.
You left my heart an open wound. We were in this terrifying hospital situation. But it is, like, very much a bop. Because it's really upbeat. It's really fast. I think it's, like, an ironic song.
Gerard mentioned in his tweets about the song that he was always turned up to 11.
Yeah.
And he was finally at least aware. I don't think he explored the use of dynamics in the song at all.
There are no dynamics.
But he became aware that dynamics were possible, that you could turn down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe
he didn't use them, but he was aware of the concept.
Yeah, like maybe turn down to 9 rather than 11.
Yeah. Also in the Nana Studios videos, there's a clip of him recording part of the vocals, and it's when Ray is in the booth with him, like, quietly sobbing into his hand, and it's so sweet, and then he comes out and he's like,
"Did you hear that?"
Yeah, he's like, "Did you hear that? It all started to make sense. I know over here," and I'm like, "Oh, Ray."
I love Ray.
I think he probably was, like, so emotional throughout the recording of this whole album.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless him.
Yeah. They said that they weren't used to recording, obviously this was their first album.
Mm-hmm.
They were used to maybe recording 2-3 songs at a time.
Yeah.
And, it's an overwhelming experience to be in a recording studio, even though it was in somebody's basement. And, like, you had to go through...
studio.
You had to go through a laundry room to get there.
You had to
like,
say hello to the mother.
People were playing Nintendo outside the room. But you still, like, they had good equipment.
Yeah, it's a studio. It's like it's a classy place.
Yeah, it's cute.
I just like that Ray was so emotionally involved. and not afraid to cry about it.
Yeah,
So
I love
sweet.
Ray.
His hair was so short.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's hair was wild.
It was a time for hair. All right, moving right along.
2 more songs.
Yes.
I wonder how long we might be going this too fast.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. We'll see.
Cubicles.
Cubicles is a bop.
It's something.
It's a bop.
I like it, okay? But it's low on my list.
Wow. That's like, I feel like for a lot of people who like Bullets, it's pretty high on their list.
I don't understand.
It's a bop.
On a surface level. I like it.
Yes.
There's a lot that I have a problem with in this song. It's just...
Tell me about your problems. Tell me about it.
The lyrics are
Okay.
mostly what I have a problem with.
Okay.
It's just a typical sad boy song.
He's pretty sad.
This is just a song that I expect to hear from any other emo band in the 2000s, where they're like, this girl didn't notice me, and I'm so sad about it because I never talked to her. So, like, how do you expect it's gonna go if you never talk to the person? But you're like, oh no, I worked with this person, and now she doesn't work here anymore, and I'm gonna die alone. What the fuck?
Listen, do I agree with his sad, unrequited office crush? No. I mean, if you have an office crush, you're in a sticky situation, because if you want to go through with it and make something out of it, it's a big risk you're taking.
Yes.
So maybe don't,
Like, she went somewhere else to better her life.
You don't know if she was bettering her life.
No. Wherever she is working, she should not be working there. She went somewhere.
She's probably in DC.
She went somewhere to better her life, and he's sad about it. And he's like, someone else is just gonna replace you, and it's not gonna be the same. And I'm so sad about it.
I'll give you that these are very sad boy lyrics.
There's not even a metaphor here.
No.
It's just straightforward. I'm upset. There's nothing.
It's not a lot of poetry. Well, it's not a lot of metaphor-heavy poetry. However, I still do like the lyrics in it.
Meh.
What? The Velvet.
And,
Pinpricks in the Velvet.
I understand. I do understand.
What I like about this song is that I like the concept of the song in which I know it's typical. I know it's not groundbreaking. I get that.
Uh-huh.
But it is just a very nice song about having a crush on someone, imagining your life together, realizing it's not going to go well, and you're like, I'm unlovable forever.
Yeah, and I understand that that's why everyone finds it #relatable, because he straight up just says, I think, sometimes I think I'll die alone for a solid minute. Who hasn't done that at one point? But, it's just about him having a crush on another intern or whatever while he was working at DC as, a photocopy.
Yeah, that's also something I've heard but never seen written down, but I can believe it.
Yeah.
Easily.
And, okay, I want to put this clip in here. Holy shit! Can you be any more emo?
Here's what I like about this. Even though it is a sort of typical concept, doesn't have to do with the high fantasy concept albums that MCR does.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about this is that other emo bands of the time, when they're lyrically in situations of unrequited love, often do blame the female character.
Right.
And even though they certainly take on their own pain or martyrdom or what the fuck ever.
Right.
I do like that Gerard in these lyrics explicitly says, I don't blame you.
Right.
And I think is very aware that this was a crush where he was not an active participant and
right.
was very passive about the whole thing. It was just sort of like looking at this person from afar and not talking to them or interacting in any way at all. And I think that the song takes on a lot of that responsibility of like, it's not your fault that no one ever notices me because I don't ever do anything about it. And I think I might die alone, not necessarily because of you, but just because of like my inherent nature is to not reach out and make connections with people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I like that about it.
Well, I get that. And, you know, I like that too, that it's not placing any blame on the female participant, you know, or lack of participant.
Yeah.
But, like, okay. So basically the song ends, and he goes on his Sometimes I Think I'll Die Alone rampage. And, you know, everyone's felt that at one point or another, and at the end he's just kind of like, fuck it, let it just drag me into the depths of despair.
Yeah. Why not?
But one thing that keeps me coming back to this song is that that's something that I like about Gerard, is that he puts all this out there and is like, all right, this is how I feel, and he's always really open about it, and, you know, he's felt this way for a long time, but now he has a family, and he's so happy.
Oh my god.
And he's married, and everybody loves him.
But you know what?
I just think it's something nice that we can look back on and be like, Gerard felt this way, but now look at him.
He does, listen, it is nice, but also sometimes he might feel that way anyway, even though all those things are true.
Yeah, maybe, but he's not writing sad boy songs about it.
Depression doesn't care how many things you have.
Oh my god.
Or if you have a nice family, depression will find you.
I'm just so glad he's growing out of that 23-year-old, 24-year-old sad boy phase.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
He's definitely a lot better now.
Yes. Aside from the love aspect of it, it also kind of touches on, you know, office jobs.
Yeah, I feel like this is a companion piece to Thursday's For Workforce
for
Drowning.
Yes, and like how they're kind of oppressive.
Yeah.
And like, can I get an amen?
Fuck a desk.
Yes.
Fuck a cubicle.
Yep.
Fuck a photocopier.
Oh my gosh. And I think it's, for people like Gerard, it's kind of a nightmare to have to work in a cubicle and like be boxed in like that, and boxed in and have to, you know, work within these confines of the office.
Yeah.
You know, of the office place, and have to dress a certain way and act a certain way. And it was probably different in the DC office, though, I would imagine.
I don't know, man. Even if you're in like a more creative-ish office, I don't know. It's weird working in an office.
Yeah.
It's weird working for the man. It's weird It's weird working in like even a semi-corporate environment. Just weird. It's a weird thing we do as a species, and I think we should stop. And we should all make art and have a great time and live in a philosopher society. That's my hashtag opinion. But this was also one of the first songs. It was on the Attic demos, so it was one of the first songs that MCR recorded when they were like small babies. So it was probably written and recorded pretty soon after he left his office job and was like, fuck all this corporate shit. So I think that's where a lot of this song comes from. It's from that moment in time, which is why it feels kind of out of step with the rest of the record. And also, I think that this song, and maybe one of the reasons you don't like it, is that it also sounds like a song from this genre, from the time period. Like, it sounds more conventional than some of their other songs. Again, which is why I think it's kind of a bop. But it probably doesn't carry as strong of that MCR brand, except for the end. The end.
Right.
And, like, the middle part with, like, again, like, the dark beach with the black view. Very MCR. Those lyrics very MCR.
Yeah.
But the guitars do sound sort of more typical and almost... I just always think of Thursday. I don't know why I think of Thursday, but...
Think I've come to die alone.
Well, it is similar. It definitely gives me a Thursday vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember what I was going to say earlier.
Say it.
I remember. It talks about him struggling to make connections with people. Like, I'll give him that. That it's hard to, especially in the workplace, it's hard to make connections with people.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know, like, you can be a work friend or you can be like an outside friend too, but how do you bridge that gap of like,
it's hard, man.
You know, you want to hang out outside of work, but you're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because people just don't want to. Yeah, like people just want to leave work at work and not see anyone.
Yeah.
They know from work ever. Yeah, and it's hard to bridge that gap. It's hard to make friends as an adult.
It's so hard to make friends as an adult, guys.
Yeah.
If you're an adult, you don't have any friends, you're not rare. You're common. You're the rule and not the exception. It's hard to make friends as an adult.
It's terrible.
But the good news is that, like, it's hard to make friends as an adult, but it's hard for everyone. It doesn't mean that you're weird. And people want friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll probably like some people, but, like, you don't know about it because nobody knows how to make friends. But they're out there. I promise they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta be patient.
Yeah, you gotta find the right atmosphere to do it in. Because, like, work is usually, it's not the way.
Yeah, I've managed to make, like, a real friend from my work friend.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a long time.
Yeah. I think as an adult, once I graduated college, I didn't make any new friends except for you, and that's it. I had my college friends that I lived with, and then,
yeah,
you know, I literally had, like, it's been, 3 years since I graduated college?
Yeah.
Haven't made any outside friends.
Yeah, and I'm cheating because I still live in my college town, and so my college friends are still here.
Right.
But yeah, besides them, I've got you and I've got my work friend.
Uh-huh.
Am I forgetting someone? No, I think I really just got you and my work friend, and those are my non-college related friends.
Right.
So
yeah, and
all you internet friends.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Twitter friends.
Yeah, Twitter friends are good.
But yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard and it's weird because, like, you don't, you know, in college you're like in all these different classes, and like you consistently have to make connections with people for each class that you're in. You join clubs, and the stakes between you as individuals aren't high, whereas like your work friends, you're like colleagues, and so also there's consequences if your relationship doesn't go well. So it's hard, man. It's super hard.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, go to a meetup, and I'm like, that's weird. Who goes to meetups alone? I don't know.
It is weird, and it's hard going places by yourself like that too, especially if you have any kind of anxiety about it.
Hello.
Yeah. One of the things I think that you have to do as an adult, though, to go make friends is you have to, like, get involved in outside things. Like, you have to get involved in community theater, or you have to get involved.
Yeah, you gotta find a group.
Yeah, or, like, you go, you know, you can do, like a pottery night, or you go...
Pottery night.
Yeah, I love the, like, the nights, the paint and wine
I've
nights.
got fantastic news for you, which is that there are many places to do that here.
Yes.
So, yes, but yeah, you have to, like, be in a group. Friends come from groups.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the process for getting friends is you gotta, like, work yourself up and hype yourself up and up enough to be able to, like, go out alone into a group for something you're interested in, and just be like, I'm gonna commit to this for the foreseeable future.
Right.
And then you'll find friends, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
But it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And this song is about that.
It is.
That's why I like it. Like it, damn it.
I mean, it's mostly about the romance, so
still,
that's why I'm just gonna stay on that that soapbox, and I'm not getting down.
Sad. Everyone can be wrong sometimes.
Everybody has those days.
It's a sleeper hit, man. But Gerard's tweet about it said, "Cubicles is real good. Totally understand why people always asked for it live now." So he thinks it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
He also said that it was hard to play live, which I don't understand. I don't understand why this one would be particularly hard to play live.
Play for who?
I don't know. He didn't say. He just said it was difficult to play live.
Huh.
And I don't see any special reason why that would be the case.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a cop-out.
Okay.
We have come to the final Bullets song.
Really quickly. I think we kind of raced through it.
We did. If this episode is short, we're really sorry.
Yeah, we're just nervous because we had 4 songs.
But this is Demolition Lovers.
Yes.
I think this is one of the most iconic Bullet songs,
yes.
if not the most iconic Bullet song. Because it's one of the narrative songs about the concept of the album. And because of the structure of the song is very MCR.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those songs where if you were trying to tell somebody about who this band was in as few songs as possible, you would include this song. And also, if you were like young, like a teenager and emo in the early 2000s, this is a song where you took lyrics from it and used it in your signature for forums and your away AIM messages. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all.
Like, this was the song.
Yep. Your name on MySpace was Demolition Lovers.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just the most like
or
maudlin
like
song.
In a Hail of Bullets, or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
Here's the goddamn desert again.
Yeah.
Gerard, the dude has a desert obsession.
Snow in the desert.
Yeah, snow in the desert.
I would assume it doesn't snow in deserts because that's precipitation, and the whole point of deserts is that they don't get precipitation.
I mean, it does rain occasionally.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not a desert expert like Gerard is. So.
At Gerard, why do you like the desert so much? Tell us about it. Also, this is a song that my middle school boyfriend wanted to play at our wedding.
Yes.
And I was super into it.
I'm sure you were.
I don't know where it would have been in the ceremony or in the dances. I don't know. But it was going to be there. And I was on board.
Yeah. I mean, how would this be a first dance kind of song? Like, what would you do? Just mosh? Like,
I think you would have to, like...
You have to slow dance for part of it and then start moshing and...
No, I feel like all of it has to be slow dancing. Like, kind of in a Helena-esque way of just sad swaying.
Sad swaying.
Sad swaying. That's what I think you have to do. And I think that your wedding has to also be, like, thematically appropriate. Like, black, red, and white. Yeah. Only. No other colors.
Yeah, Gerard thought he was being real slick with this song, too. He was like, this is the most romantic song I could write. Because he even said in the liner notes, where he's like, I'm sorry to Kat about all the songs about killing you. I hope the last one makes up for it.
Yeah, which is confusing. I mean, again, it's the most narrative song, so it's about, like, the couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's confusing that he considers this the most romantic song, or like a song that would make up for other songs about killing Kat, because like it is romantic in that one person is expressing love to another person, but also that person is dying in a hail of bullets.
I think if you're super goth or whatever, sure, then it's romantic. Like, I guess a hail of bullets is romantic if you're
in this pool of blood.
Yeah, and falling down and looking into your eyes and we're bleeding and dying, and
that's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. Or, it's kind of similar to the Smiths. Gives me a Smiths vibe of to die by your side.
Yeah. And it's very, I'm going to say maudlin again, but maudlin in that way.
Uh-huh.
People need to chill out.
Correct.
Go on a date. Go out to dinner. Anything.
Just go out to dinner rather than dying in a hail of bullets. Just fucking pull it together.
Don't get in a gunfight with your partner. Just go see a movie.
Yeah.
Go dancing.
Do something
Hang out
normal.
at home. Order a pizza. anything.
Also, can we talk about their Halloween performance of this from 2003? Because
with the face makeup?
Yes, with the makeup and the ripped clothes and the blood everywhere.
I wish they continued doing that Halloween performance.
Oh
like
my
that,
god,
be amazing.
Me too. I love that performance of it.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that they didn't perform this live very often after the Bullets tour, because I know it's long, and it's probably...
But it's one of the most iconic songs.
Yeah, and it's, it's probably really draining to do on stage because it's so long and it takes so much energy.
Yeah, because he didn't understand dynamics.
No, he didn't understand how to pull back from anything. But it's just like their actual performance of it is so energetic and so engaging, and it's just fun to listen to and to watch too.
Yeah.
I wish they had performed it more.
Yeah, I feel that. Wish they performed anything more.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2018 and there's a lack.
Also, Ray, in that particular performance in 2003, loses his damn mind during the solo. He's like bopping around. He's like shaking all over, and
I love when he does that.
Yes.
The song is so, again, it's a very My Chem song. And I think it really encapsulated what they were in Bullets and also what they wanted to be. Are you gonna play a thing?
I had this clipped in my notes to go to 350. I don't remember why.
These guys up here are my fucking brothers. They will always be my fucking brothers.
That's why. I'm emotional about it.
They just love each other a lot.
They're my brothers.
They're a gang.
Yes.
We're going to talk more about how they're a gang
In
the next episode.
Wait.
Their gang like whole gang thing is like, I feel that so strongly.
Yes. Like everybody
it touches me.
Yeah, everybody wants a gang that they can just like rely on those people and, you know, fall back on them and have them as a support group and create things with them and hang out with them and go on tour with them. And
I love their band dynamics.
They're brothers and I love them. I like that I had that clipped in my notes. I didn't say what it was in my notes. I just said 350.
But this song is also like such a good My Chem song.
Yeah.
Because it has just all the parts that you need for a My Chem song.
Yeah.
It's got like the driving like distorted chords underneath it, which are the bulk of it. And they're like kind of Thursday-esque, a very post-hardcore, early 2000s, what that kind of band sounds like. But then you have that guitar line on top that Ray does, the sort of cleaner guitar line, which is very Ray, very My Chem. I'm very here for it.
Also, the fake out in the middle of the song.
They're so good at fake outs. I love when they do a fake out.
Yes.
I love a fake out.
They're really good at that build up, too.
Yes.
Like, you know, in the second half of the song when they build that up.
That is definitely like a signature My Chem thing. Especially to do it at the end.
Yes.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. And that's how the album ends. It's so sudden. It's just, I mean this forever.
Mic drop.
That's it. Like, there's nothing, there's no fade out, there's no, like, playing out. It's just, that's the last thing you hear.
You, like, end this album with your head snapped back.
Yes.
Like, they came here to fuck shit up, burn shit down, and then leave. And that's exactly what they did. This album is crazy.
The last half of Demolition Lovers is just the drop on a roller coaster where you just, like, you build up on that roller coaster and then they drop you down 600 feet at, like, a 90-degree angle and your head snaps back against the seat and then you roll up to the end of it and you're like,
holy shit, I want to do it again.
Oh, let's go again.
You have to wait 2 years.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this album is great. This ending is such a ballsy ending to put on the end of an album. And it works. It's just very My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
I love this band. I love this album. I love this song. I love it. And there's also a part at the end which kind of reminds me of Drowning Lessons where, like, they bring back this one guitar line on top, which reminds me of, like, how in Drowning Lessons they brought back the little guitar bit at the end. And maybe they did that because they're both one of the most narrative songs.
Yeah.
Is this a musical thematic connection?
Ooh,
Did they think about this beforehand?
Is this a motif?
Did they plan this?
Probably not.
Are they real musicians?
I don't think that they did plan it, but it worked out well.
I like it.
Yeah.
And this is another one where you can see them doing a few tracks in the studio videos.
Yes. I think one of the ones that was recorded in the Nada Studios video is the take that they use on the album.
Yeah, the last scream, I think.
Scarecrows that fuel this flame. They use that take in the album. I always think that it's really cool to have an image to go with the audio that you're hearing.
Yeah.
Like, you've gotten so used to this audio and you kind of, you know, you don't really think about like, oh, this is what they were doing or this is what the setup looked like when they were recording it. But I think it's really cool to see. Like, he was in this little box and he had his hand going, he was dancing.
I always think of his hand when I get to that part, and I kind of do it myself. Like, I just always think about it. Also, scarecrows. Scarecrows are another thing that come up lyrically in future albums. So he has, like, things on the brain. And also his lyricism in this, I maybe I've already touched on this, is really good.
Yes.
And I'm always really struck by lead rains pass on through our phantoms.
Yes.
Incredible.
I know. What an icon.
And, okay, so they have some songs on this album, and in Revenge, that are kind of preachery. And so this is not, like, a great example of that. But something in, like, the end of the song does remind me of the preachery vibe he sometimes gives off, which I think is cool. That's another My Chem trademark.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Also, Mikey's bass is very present.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't mentioned Mikey's bass enough in these episodes, and I feel really bad about that. Because there's a lot of bass moments in this album, more so than in any future albums.
Right.
His bass is very loud.
Yeah, they, you know, when Mikey started, he wasn't, you know, he had just started on bass, so he wasn't a fantastic bass player. And he's admitted that, and everybody around them was
but
like...
they still turn him up.
Yeah, you know, I think it is...
I like it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
I just notice it.
I think it's important that they gave him that, you know, that kind of push, and they all supported him in that. Because if somebody's starting out on an instrument and you don't give them that support, then, you know, they're just going to quit.
Yeah. So Gerard's tweet about this. Demo lovers already, this album feels short, no filler at all. No filler at all, though, which is great. The music from Demolition Lovers is inspired by a Bobby Womack song and a Helium B-side called I Am a Witch, which taught me guitar. Wow. This end bit in Demo, where it comes back in with a pretty guitar and the cool beat, super awesome.
Yes, correct, Gerard. You're correct.
It is super awesome. But I listened to the Helium song he mentioned, and there's a very strong similarity between that guitar and the intro clean guitar in Demolition Lovers.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't specify which Bobby Womack song it was, but I listened to a few.
Uh-huh.
And I have come to the conclusion that it is probably Across 110th Street.
Okay.
Oh, across 110th Street, bushes won't let the junkie go free. But this time, I mean it. I'll let you know just how much you mean to me.
It doesn't exactly sound like it, like the Helium song, but there's just like a similar vibe, and I don't know what the chord progression is. I feel like it's not the same chord progression, but maybe in the same family. But that song also reminds me more of Thursday's A Sketch for Time's Arrow. But I don't know. I feel like if any Bobby Womack song was going to be the song, maybe that's the song.
Mm-hmm.
Unconfirmed. Just my feelings.
Yeah. Just speculation.
And he also said, fuck yeah, this heavy outro shreds. Crazy spooky lyrics.
Crazy spooky lyrics.
They are crazy spooky lyrics.
Correct.
There's a lot of blood involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of pools of blood in this song.
There's many pools of many bloods.
Yep.
And it's romantic, apparently.
Yeah.
But the imagery in like that last outro bit about the pools of blood, as we're touching hands, as we're falling down in this pool of blood, the imagery is so strong that like it kind of like makes a music video for you.
Yes.
And you don't need to have one because like you can just see it.
You can see it in your head.
And that's cool.
Yeah. Sums up the whole album, and that's cool.
I just love this album. I love that this album is very hard-hitting. You know, it's not the best like put together album as much as their future albums will be.
Right. They were just starting off as a band, though. They were a band for like how long? Like
a few months.
3 months or something like that when they started recording this shit.
Yeah, just a few months. And like again, like Cubicles and Skylines. Like, there were all these songs that happened before they were like a full band that stayed on the record. So it's really pieced together. So it's not necessarily as polished as like other records that they did, but I feel like it has a lot of heart. I feel like it introduces a lot of themes of My Chemical Romance, which continue with them for their entire career, even when they change so drastically.
Right.
I feel like it, from their first record, contains the thesis of the band and what's important to the band and what they're pulling from musically and thematically. And I just really like this album. I feel like it's an album that you will like, especially if you like My Chemical Romance in the future, but also that you could like even without liking all of My Chemical Romance.
Right.
It's just a good album.
Yeah. Gerard on Twitter, bullets in closing. The most DIY, rawest album out at the time in the scene. We were the damned to the scene's Sex Pistols.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. We were the damned to the scene's Sex Pistols.
It's a big statement.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean, he's not wrong. It's when this came out, the reaction to it was, kind of mixed, and it definitely made an impact, though. When it came out, a lot of magazines just like either didn't review it or their a lot of the reviews were very, this album is amazing, they're going to be the next big thing, blah, blah, blah. So one review says that it struggled for direction, that the band isn't sure who they want to be. There are elements of Britpop, the influence of the Smiths, and metal and punk and hardcore, and it lacks focus, which is not to say that it isn't good.
It's pretty accurate.
It is really accurate. Like, Alt Press didn't review it. Kerrang reviewed it and pointed out that...
I can't wait to hear what Kerrang said about this.
Yeah. Kerrang said, Gerard Way is open in interviews about the fact that he's got some problems. He'll admit freely that his band is therapy, but nothing prepares you for his contributions to I Brought You My Bullets. Way's vocals are one part vicious attack, one part desperate plea, and one part nervous breakdown. Whiny emo, this ain't. Murder, vampires, ghosts, suicide, drug dependency, they're all here. Almost everything here is done at breakneck speed. Secondly, everything really is everything. Razor-sharp metal riffs, bouncy punk melodies, hardcore breaks, and post-hardcore intricacies cling to each other, tugging at heartstrings while avoiding cliché. My Chemical Romance are astonishing, and they are going to be huge.
That really sets the tone for Kerrang's attitude towards My Chemical Romance for the rest of their lives.
Literal rest of their lives. This started their love affair with Kerrang.
Or Kerrang's love affair with them. Yeah, I mean, I think this album wasn't on a lot of people's radars.
Right.
But they did a really good job of growing a fan base from it. Mm-hmm. Because, that recording of Early Sunsets I mentioned earlier isn't that good of, like, a performance of it, just because of it's a weird song to put in that performance. But everyone in the audience was singing along with it.
Right.
And they sing along with the end part about there's a corpse in this bed, and it's incredible.
Yes.
But does anyone care? But does anyone notice?
Like, so many people found this album, learned the lyrics, and, like, became instant mega fans. For an album, like, didn't make a big splash or anything. Was on an indie label. What?
Yeah. Just coming up from nothing. And then people latched onto it. They'd have 5 kids at a show that were there for them, and then they win the crowd over.
Yeah.
And, I think that is a really important indicator of a good performer and a good band, good musicians, is that you can go into a room and not have anyone be on your side, and then by the end of it, everyone's like, oh, who was that?
Yeah.
Similar to Derek Zanetti.
Or Derek Zanetti, and also 68. When I saw 68, no one knew who fucking 68 was. And then they play and they're like, oh my god, we've seen one of the best performances of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Derek is really good at that too.
If you don't know who Derek Zanetti is, I'm going to give him a shout out because I love him.
I have 4 of his t-shirts.
He is...
and his socks.
He's the one-man band, the Homeless Gospel Choir. He's amazing. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Go look him up. That's it.
It's good for your soul. But yeah, I love this album. It's my favorite My Chemical Romance album. We're gonna have a wrap-up episode after this where we will talk more about it. I just need you to know, this is my favorite album. It will always be my favorite album forever. Do you have anything else to say about these songs or this album that we won't get to on the next episode?
If I say more about the album right now, we won't have any content for the next episode.
Don't worry, I've got so much content for the next episode.
I know.
I've written some crazy shit in my notes.
You're too much. In closing, I will say that I love the energy this album inspires.
Yes.
Even way down the line, 15 years down the line from its recording or its release, you know, you can still listen to this with driving down the highway with your windows down.
Driving to New Jersey, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe driving to New Jersey. Driving in New Jersey, in Belleville, maybe.
Maybe crossing the state line of New Jersey where they don't have a Welcome to New Jersey sign, like every other state. And then you just have to gather from context clues that you're in New Jersey, so then you can finally hit the play button. Maybe it's good for then.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the energy that it inspires, and I don't know. I think for a lot of people it makes them feel more creative, more understood, more connected, you know?
Yeah.
And I know some people don't like it. People who got into it later in the band don't like it as much, I think, but if you come back to... Oh, man.
I just fundamentally don't understand that.
Me neither.
Give Bullets a chance. I just don't get that. Well, I remember when I first got this album, because I listened to Revenge first, because it came in with Revenge. And then got this CD at whatever CD place was in the mall back when CD places were in the mall.
FYE.
Oh, yes, that was it. FYE. Got the CD at FYE. And I liked certain songs off of it. I liked Head First for Halos, probably like Cubicles, Demolition Lovers, and Early Sunsets. But like, I wasn't like a big fan of the album because I was like, there's a lot of screaming in here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my god. That was my favorite part.
Didn't acquire that taste yet.
Ooh,
but
it's coming.
So maybe people are in that mindset where it's because it is like a lot harder and heavier than their other albums, and maybe they're just like not ready for it, not expecting it, not into that with other music. But yeah, that for sure is my favorite part of that album now. But once upon a time, it was not my cup of tea. So maybe I can kind of understand why.
Yep, that's what I've got. So announcements you guys. If you are in Chicago or if you're going to Riot Fest, Kat and I will be at Riot Fest.
Hell yeah.
September 14th to 17th. So
we don't know what the second wave is. We don't know what bands are playing when, except for what people on the Reddit thread have gathered. Yeah, we don't know what's coming for us, but we're still gonna be there, and we're gonna be enthusiastic.
If you're there, just come up and say hi to us. I mean, you don't know what we look like, but
yeah, you know, but just make a good guess. We're not gonna wear anything to indicate. Make a good guess.
I don't want to wear my Fancast shirt.
You can wear your Fancast shirt. Well, you can't wear it for all 3 days.
Oh, I mean, I could try.
I just want them to guess who we are.
Just make an educated guess. Who do you think?
But yeah, we'll be there. We'll report back. Maybe. This is not the end of Bullets. We'll have more Bullets content to talk about. But this is the end of the individual songs of Bullets.
That's sad.
More Bullets to come. Don't be sad yet. Be sad at the end of Bullets.
Yeah.
We still got a few more weeks.
A few more weeks to hang on to Bullets, and then we can move on to Revenge.
I am getting pretty hyped for Revenge. Like, I'm really sad to let go of Bullets, but I'm getting pretty hyped for Revenge.
Yeah, same.
In the meantime, follow us on our social media accounts, which are on Twitter at Chemical Fancast, Instagram at Chemical Fancast, Facebook, My Chemical Fancast. And you can also send us a message on any of those platforms, or if you want to email us a question or a suggestion or a comment or anything, we are also at mychemicalfancast@gmail.com. If you like our podcast, leave us a review. We love reviews. Anything else?
No, covered it. 100%. So that wraps it up for today. So, I'm Haley.
And I'm Kat.
And this is My Chemical Fancast.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.